What's going on, guys? My name is Kyle Bradshaw and welcome to Moto City. Today on this episode 6 of Motoz Monday, we're going to be talking about the Motoz Tractionator Enduro ST tire. Now, over the next several weeks, we'll be covering a lot of the off-road tires that Motoz has to offer. Now, the neat thing about Motoz tires is the fact that almost all of them, bar I think 2, are DOT rated. That means any of the tires that we've been talking about over the last 5 weeks and for the next 5 weeks are going to be all DOT rated tires. Now, the Motoz Tractionator Enduro tire is good for all kinds of all-around off-road riding. Now, the ST tire in general is specific for soft terrain, so sand and mud and anything that's soft that the tire is going to grip into really well and want to bite. Now, this is a very unique tire. It's one of the only tires out there that has a weather direction located or printed on the tire. If you mount it in one direction, it's better for wet weather or for mud or for sticky type situations. If you flip it the other direction, it's better for more dry terrain, so desert and sand that's dry and loamy dirt and things of that nature. Now, before I get too deep into this video, I want to give a big shout out and thanks to Tranter. He has a YouTube channel where he does tire reviews.
Welcome to another Life of the Tire review. This time I'm reviewing Motoz Enduro Soft Terrain Front Tire.
And in August of 2018, he released his review of this here, the Enduro ST from Motoz. So thank you for allowing us to use your content of you on your KTM out there on this specific set of tires. We'll use some of the verbiage that he has, and then I'm going to give you some of the details that I have gleaned from this tire using this tire on my KTM 450 EXC. Now, that's been several years, but the tire has been out for a little while, and I've had personal experience on it. I just don't have any riding footage of this tire out there in the wild, and that's where we're using Troy.
The Enduro Soft Terrain impressed me in the sand. Even if my technique was wrong, the tyre was still happy to push through it. And everywhere else, the tyre went about its job unnoticed, which is what you want.
Now, before we get any deeper, let's talk about the naming structure of this tire. We have Tractionator, we have Enduro, and we have ST. Now, what Tractionator really means is the fact that this is a robust carcass. They tend to have a little bit longer tread life than other major manufacturers of tires. Now, that's due to 2 different reasons. Number 1 is going to be the carcass structure of the tire, and that's really what Tractionator stands for. Tractionator means they used more robust cords when they built the core part of this tire, so they can create a heavy-duty tire with a weight very similar to that of the other off-road tires. That's huge. Now, Enduro, obviously that just translates to anything off-road that's relatively hardcore. That's what this tire is made for. Any terrain that you want to ride this tire on, it's capable. Now, the ST tire is specifically intended to run on softer terrains. We'll get to that here in just a second. So whether you're running in sugar sand in Florida, whether you're running in deep sand out here in the desert, whether it's muddy or wet or whatever the case is, this tire is going to be the perfect choice for maximum traction. Now, we'll get into it next week in a little bit more depth, but probably the most popular combination of Motoz off-road, enduro, desert type tires is going to be the Enduro IT on the rear and the Enduro ST in the front. That gives guys ultimate traction when out there in the softer stuff. Now, if you're looking for even more traction than that, we're going to get into the Mountain Hybrid, the Extreme Hybrid, and the Arena Hybrid in the upcoming weeks. Those tires are ridiculous. But right now this week, let's get back to the Enduro ST.
This tyre performs really well in most conditions and terrain types, which is what I normally ride in.
Now, Troy's given us some real-world footage and his explanation of how this tire feels out there in the soft, sandy stuff. Again, we appreciate you, Troy, for that information. Now, when you take a look at the center lug of this tire, you're going to say, how is this potentially directional for sun one way or dry one way and wet the other way? The center lug looks identical on either side. But then you take a look at the side lugs. The side lugs are actually alternating, or they're staggered, and that staggering has been developed in order to allow it to perform better one direction in the wet and better the other direction in the dry. Now, another benefit that I see to this directional tire that is non-directional, if you really look at it, is if you ride a typical terrain all the time. Like, our terrain out here doesn't change a whole lot. We do get monsoons, it comes in, it floods everything, and that would be great for the wet weather section of this tire. But 90% of the time, the dry direction of this tire is how I would probably mount it on my motorcycle. If you wear these lugs down on the leading edge, you can flip the tire around and have perfect traction going forward. It essentially doubles the life of this tire, being able to flip it around and use it again. Now, I talked just a little bit earlier about that best combination, the Enduro IT on the rear and the Enduro ST in the front. Now, that intermediate rear terrain tire is going to give you more longevity than you're going to get out of this ST terrain tire. This ST tire is a softer compound, it's a softer rubber, it's a little bit more grippy, and that is going to wear out faster than that of the Enduro IT. Now, the front tire, not having power put down to it, you can go with a softer rubber up front, you can go with lugs that are further apart, you can go with lugs that are softer, and still get decent wear characteristics there on the front.
It's pretty hard to fault the tyre, but the only downside is mileage. Motoz Enduro soft terrain tyre performed very consistent until 1000 kilometers. This is where the side knobs started to chunk off and then tore off at 1100 kilometers.
Now, when you take a look at the lugs of the Enduro ST versus the IT, the Enduro ST lugs are just a hair further apart than that of the IT. But where the biggest difference is the actual compound of the rubber that's used in the ST versus the IT. They're intended for motorcycles from 100 cc's up to about 500 cc's. As most traditional dirt bikes, these tires were intended to run on a front rim that is 1.6 inches in width and a rear rim that is 2.15 inches in width. Now, this tire is going to have 5 different tire sizes that it comes in. It's going to have 2 different fronts and 3 different rears. The first front is going to be the standard front. It's going to be a 90-90-21. It's going to be a traditional dirt bike tire size. And then we have the Fatty. Now, in recent years, the Fatty front tire from Shinko has become a huge winner out there. People started running that Fatty tire and absolutely loved it. Golden Tire also has their fat tire version that people also love. Well, this tire right here in front of me is Motoz's version of that Fatty front tire. It is a 90-100-21. That's going to give you amazing traction off-road, better than most other motocross tires that you've run on the front of your machine. So if you haven't already tried Motoz's front 90-100-21, I highly recommend it. Now we talked about the sizes that these tires come in, let's take a quick tread depth reading to see just exactly how deep the tread depth is over here. Here it looks like we're reading just in between 20 and 21/32. That's going to put us right at 17 millimeters. Now, moving on over to the front tire, let's take a look and see what the tread depth is on the front tire. We're looking at 15/32 or about 12 millimeters in depth. Now, taking a look at the actual durometer reading on these tires, here in the center, we have about 72 on the durometer reader. And then over here on the side, and it's looking about 72 as well. And on the front tire, the front tire is a lot softer. Now, that front tire is measuring a lot softer. It's about 66 to 67 on the durometer reader. So this Enduro soft terrain tire is rated at 90% off-road, 10% road use. Now, it is DOT rated, so you could run this tire on road 100% of the time if you wanted to, but you're going to wear it out quite quickly. The Motoz Tractionator Enduro ST, or soft terrain tire, has been designed to give aggressive traction in soft terrain with longer wear than regular soft terrain tires. It's designed for riders who want the grip of an MX tire with a tough carcass of an off-road tire. It features motocross style grip with enduro strength and wear. And it's going to last longer than any of the other ST tires out there, probably by 2 or even 3-fold. Especially because you can reverse this rear tire and get 100% traction once you make that reversal. Anyhow, I'm Kyle Bradshaw from Motor City. This here is our detailed breakdown of the Motoz Tractionator Enduro ST. Join us next week where we talk about the Enduro IT down here below. Now, if this was just the information that you needed to know about this ST tire, please give it a big thumbs up. If you're hanging on this far, please give it a thumbs up anyway. The algorithm loves thumbs ups and they love comments. So leave a comment down below. What brought you this video? Are you looking at the Enduro ST? Are you already running a different Motoz tire? Or are you running a different manufacturer's tire and you're just looking into the Motoz line for the first time? I would love to hear why you're watching this video, so please leave a comment down below. Now, typically we have a huge stock of Motoz tires here, but as these Motoz Monday videos have been rolling out, you guys have been doing an awesome job in purchasing the tires that we've been telling you about, and we really appreciate that. The next couple containers are not due to arrive until September 15th to 19th, so please make sure you get your pre-order booked today so that you can ensure that one of those tires on one of those containers comes to your doorstep as soon as they arrive. Anyway, this here is the Tractionator Enduro ST from Motoz. I'm Kyle Bradshaw. This is Moto City. Thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate you. Until next time, take care and ride safe out there.